Hi there folks, it's me, it's Nikki Nicole. Now I'm a drag queen.
Right, hopefully that's fixed it. People are coming in now. People are coming now. People are coming now. Oh god. Right for the wardrobe malfunction. Oh my goodness. Right. Right guys, come on in, come on in, come on in. Thank you, Rin Phillips. Right, okay, right. Let's get some hellos in the chat because I'm having some more technical problems. YouTube's new studio thing doesn't work. Surprise, surprise. Hi, Shell Shock. Surprise, surprise. YouTube's new studio channel does not streaming software, streaming like page does not work, and I have to go back to the old one. Oh my god, it's just trash. Like, I'm gonna do it on Twitch at some point. I might do a just chatting stream on Twitch instead because oh my god, it actually works. So I hope you guys let me just tweet something out just to say, hey, it's working now. Professional content creator. Oh, hi Roshinku. Thank you, Patrick. The top looks warm. It's very warm and comfy. It's a bit too warm and comfy right now. Like my room is pretty hot. But I always liked this dress. I'll show it off in a bit. We'll get some more people in here and then I'll show it off. But oh goodness, just let's do a little tweet. I can reply to my old tweet, can't I? What am I doing? Excuse me, guys. I'm just trying to fix all this rubbish. Hey Tennyson. The siren's cool, they're much less dangerous, but when Nikki calls hello sweetie, you have to be with it. Well, thank you so much, Tennyson. I'm glad. Sorry, I'm not just sitting here on my phone ignoring you guys. I'm just trying to fix a mess that YouTube created for me by just popping the link out once more. What a debacle. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like I say, if those of you just calling, just joining me. YouTube has like a new studio for the creators that they want them to use desperately. They really want them to use it. And it's just a horrible system of like having to schedule a stream. You can't just go live and it just pops up and you go to the page. It's just, ugh. And then I do it, and then I get like 19 people watching my stream, nobody in chat. Clearly people are trying to type. And nothing happens, and then people just and people just watch, either not seeing the stream for some reason. It's not on my channel page. It's not just like easily accessible by any means. And I'm like, well, how does this work? You're not even telling me how this works. So I've tried it twice, and then the old streaming is going to go away. The old streaming like control room is going to go away. So I think the next one of these is going to be on Twitch, because oh my god. Definitely Twitter, Instagram are probably better. How do you mean, Ren? You mean like I wanted to stream on YouTube because if most people have like a YouTube account, and also on Twitter and Instagram, like if on Instagram I don't want to sit there looking at my phone and have everybody need Instagram, like and I don't like the live Instagram things that much. Oh, thank you, Shell Shots. I will show it off in a minute. Let's get a few more people in. Yeah. So for those of you who have found your way into the stream, I thank you, and believe me, it's not for lack of trying. I really, really am trying to get people to watch this stream and to have you guys have access to it. And it's really, really annoying. Why not do Twitch and just chatting? Just want to keep them separate. My original logic, Dottie, hi Dottie, by the way, hello. My original logic with it was like more people have a YouTube account than a Twitch account, and it's more suited to YouTube. But like I say, YouTube streaming infrastructure is goddamn horrible, and it works perfectly fine right now because I'm using the old one, and then they want to force this new one on us, and it just doesn't work. So my outfit matches my furniture. Thank you. Wonderful. I'm hoping that the room, reflects me very well. Nice having Nikki's cozy. Maybe you could just turn the music a few percent. I would love to. I just get worried about people not being able to hear it. So there you go. If that's too loud, hopefully it's good. I did test it a bunch. It does. How does it? It kind of matches. I mean, I don't know how much other purple is in the background, but I think we've actually got like quite a pleasing gamut of colour right here. So it works. All right, we got 12 people in here, and we got some people chatting. That's great, because I was sitting there chatting away to nobody when it said the 19 people were watching and nobody was in chat. And I'm so sorry, guys. And the thing is, like now I've started streaming on this control room. Like the other chat room closed, and now I can't tell people. So the best I can do is like put out like a limp tweet saying it's fixed, please come. Dottie, I would say YouTube used to be perfectly fine, but if you want to do like Hangout streams or game streams especially, then Twitch is the way to go. I'm definitely gonna do it on Twitch. So it doesn't take long to set up a Twitch account, so I'm sure we'll get some people in chat, and I'll get all my Twitch followers hopefully on there as well. And just say goodbye to YouTube, especially like as just all the stuff that's going on with YouTube with like the algorithm and the not for kids or the for kids thing. It just seems harder and harder to actually do anything on YouTube that doesn't like break some TOS or some crap like that. I used to think I wasn't going to do it on Twitch because Twitch is primarily for games, but there's so many non-gaming streams on Twitch now, I can definitely do a just chatting. So, what's my Twitch name? It's Pixelmint. Let me know on Twitter when you search. I'll always link Tennyson for my Hangout streams because they only have them once. I'll always link them in the tweet or whatever. So that's you. No worries about that. Today is a mirrored Nikki day. A mirrored Nikki day. Yes, it is. But if you want to follow, if anybody wants to follow the a Twitch channel, it's there. Twitch.tv/pixelmint. That's my Twitch name, and I think we'll be doing that on Twitch from now on because it's just way easier. I can just click stream. I don't have to do loads of. I don't have to jump through 50 hoops, like I do on YouTube to stream. So we're gonna do that. Anyway, ranting over. How are you guys? How are you? How am I? I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Apart from ranting about technology. Oh, thank you, Chris. That's great. I'm glad you watch the Twitch streams. We got a few more people in here. Do I like 80s music? I fucking love 80s music. It depends on what 80s music you're talking about. Actually, no. 80s is a pretty good genre for me. A pretty good like decade for me for music. I was born in the 80s, so of course it's the best decade. Hi, Michael Rudd. I'm well. How are you? I have a question. Was it a skirt or shorts on the Resident Evil cosplay? Now, this was a point of contention with me and my flatmate because I've been playing a bunch of RE3, and then he pointed out to me, he went, "She's wearing shorts." I went, "What? No, she's not wearing shorts. She didn't wear shorts. She didn't wear shorts in the original." And she's wearing shorts in the modern one. It's definitely a skirt, yes. It's a skirt. In the cosplay, I wore a skirt. So it was very much classic Jill. And that's the classic Jill I know. It was black skirt, jumper tied round, small jumper tied round, and blue top. Hi, Connor. I'm good today so far, and thank you very much. I will show the outfit. There's not much else to show off. This is a dress. Like it's not quite a. Let me suck in my stomach. Indestructible cardigan. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. I will. If we can get some sort of. There's the dress. I love this dress. It's so cute. And I think it was quite a few years ago now. They sort of became a little bit like fashionable for a while. Like I saw like a few girls with these on, and I was like, oh, that just looks so good. I have a thing for like thick jumper dresses. I really like them. I did, especially when I started dressing up. I used to love these kind of things. So this one's been in the closet for a long time. And I sort of got it out the other night because I saw it and I went, oh, I fancy putting that on, seeing how that works. And I liked it. So thank you, Chris. And thank you, Dottie. It's super comfy. It's really comfy and very, very warm. So I think hopefully if we're ever allowed to leave our houses again, I will wear this like on a winter night out, maybe with some hip pads and kind of try and get like a good figure going. But I think it works really well with this hair as well, which was bought for me from my Amazon wishlist. The only thing is, this has the same problem as all things do when they're cut off like this, when the shoulder, the neckline's like this, is that as soon as you raise your arms, you can't do a thing. The whole thing just flips up. This side, I almost always, when I go side hair, I almost always go left side, but Mark Knopfler. Wow, Dire Straits is pretty 80s. Thank you, Patrick. Classy, casual, and super comfy. Yeah, I thought we'd go for a little bit of a classy stream today. Oh, thank you, Shell Sharks. It's very kind of you to say. It's very nice. Very sweet. Thank you, Sam. But I mean, if anybody asks for a wishlist link, I'll give it to them. But I won't sit here and shill it. But what I will do is I'm going to talk about my patrons because one of the tiers on my Patreons, if you want to subscribe to it, or for people who subscribe to my Patreon, is to get a shout out on these Hangout streams. So I'm going to just read off a list of names. We have Jeff Rooks, who has been a patron for a day. So hello, Jeff. Astora Carlson, Tom Cannell, Austin LaRue, Bianca Barbie Dolly, Dirty Rotten, Lynn S. Maid, Alexandru Chirita, Brian Agueta, Ryan Sullivan, Bobbenald Gonk. I think of that name and I think of like Rowan Atkinson saying it, like in Blackadder or something. Bobbenald Gonk. Deggy Likey, Luke Ingram, Aura, Oliver Herr, Ryan David, Avari56, Rick, Bob, ER, Roger Whiting, Leonie100, Nathan Smith, Jody Allen, Hawk, CR, Alex, Equiv16, Robert Zimmerman, Stephen, John Doe, Thrifty, Neil Before Zod, PJ Goodenwar, Torlex, Richard Beatty, Kylo Penn, Kylo S97, Sam Wright, Jesse O'Coin, Terry, Dave, Busty Lucy, Frank DeBoer, Kieran Thurlow, and Kevin Y. Thank you so much, good folks, for being patrons, and thank you to all of my other patrons as well. There's another 2 tiers below that. It's like a $5 tier and a $1 tier, and I just wanted a special thank you to those guys. Best of the rest. I love you all, and thank you so much for pledging on the Patreon. If you're interested in, so I apologize for the shill here, but if you are interested in the Patreon, you go to patreon.com/it's Nikki Nicole, and people who pledge my Patreon get like full picture sets, like 10 to 15 pictures of each, most of the looks all of the looks I do. You can get like a video of me, talking about my look and doing little teas sometimes. You can also vote for the next thing to come out. So any time you see one of my looks on Twitter or like anything like that, and I've just say there's a new set out that's been voted for by people to be released then. And you can also get previews of like looks and things. Like as soon as I've shot something, I will post a preview, and it can be anything up to like 6 weeks before you see that look on Twitter. So that being said, thank you so much to all of you, and if you want to head over and do that, that's awesome. And I will shout you all out again at the end of the stream. If there are any patrons in the chat, please shout out and say hello. And you're awesome. Thank you. And everyone else is awesome too. You don't have to give me anything. I just want to hang out with you guys right now. So, right, okay, let's catch up with these. Oh, nice, Donald. You got a nice new wig. Good. Busty Lucy Underhand. Hey, Peter. Hey, Busty Lucy. What's up? Thank you for being you. All right, what films do I like to watch? Oh, big question. I like to watch any films, really. Anything. I tend to gravitate away from the Hollywood blockbusters nowadays, although I have a real healthy love for 80s action films. 80s and 90s action films. Some things are just great and loads of fun. I have a big love for films that are so bad they're good. Cheesy action stuff, like if you wanna just check out Death Wish 3 with Charles Bronson, and that's one of my favorite films. I also have a big lot of love for loads of sci-fi in the 80s and 90s. loads and loads of cult films, and a lot of dramas, and I just like a lot of stuff. I think the only thing I gravitate away from nowadays is comic book films. I don't really care about comic book films. Although if it's really good, I can get into it. That's about the best of the answer, really. Okay. Thank you, Chris, for saying the Patreon's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying the stuff. And you know, I post looks every 2 weeks and videos every 2 weeks, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Nikki, what were your thoughts on WrestleMania? Well, interesting. I think they made a way better WrestleMania than they've ever really done with a crowd. I mean, normally with WrestleMania, you get like 1 or 2 matches that are really good. Most WrestleManias nowadays, maybe in the last 15 years, aren't really that good. But you got like 2 or 3 good to great matches. And WrestleMania hasn't been about the matches for God knows how long. Since Austin Rock, it's never really been about the matches. So if you're thinking about like a good pay-per-view from top to bottom, WrestleMania isn't really one you think of. Not one I think of every year. And because it's WWE, it's all just sort of not very good most of the time. Unless you get a really good, if you get a really good story, it's often ruined by the match. And if you get a really good match, it's often not really held up by the story. So, like I say, WrestleMania never. You sort of watch WrestleMania because it's your duty as a wrestling fan to watch WrestleMania. And I think the restrictions this year and the fact that they had to do what they did meant they had to improvise. And when WWE have to make an effort, they really, really do. I'm not saying they don't make an effort, but when they have to make something good because you don't have a crowd to prop it up, then it turns out they're actually quite good at it. So the Boneyard match, the Firefly Funhouse match, blew my mind with how good they were, and enjoyed the hell out of them. And it's just about getting used to wrestling to watching wrestling with no crowd. And I think, well, I'm there now. I think we can watch it. There are a few good matches. Some stuff really doesn't work, like that match with Edge and Randy Orton that went on forever, that needed some crowd noise to prop it up. It didn't work at all. Even though they had a great story going in and they had a great story throughout the match, it just dragged on too long. Best storyline matches, he also had the most trash talk. Yeah, exactly. Like, creates some missing. It's kind of cool to like hear the story being told, in the ring as well as seeing it. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, thank you, D. Gregory. You've come back in. Did you come back in like recently, like tonight? Have a look. Oh, thank you, D. Gregory. D. Gregory is my newest patron. Thank you so much, D. That's good. But yeah, Ryujinku, I like that. I think AEW for me has the edge on how well they've handled like the restrictions and things. Like having other wrestlers come out and like add some noise. You only need like a little bit of noise. You only need like 2 or 3 people shouting. So if you had like more tag team matches, or you had all of more of the wrestlers make friends and bring their friends out to cheer them on, like it's actually all you need. You don't need you don't need 10,000, 80,000 people or whatever. You just need a couple of people invested in it and make you feel like you're there a little bit. WrestleMania is great, as good as an average New Japan Pro Wrestling show. Yes, yeah, exactly. That's about it. Didn't watch it this year. Dottie has 0 interest. Fair enough. That's it. I would say if you're gonna you should watch AJ Styles and The Undertaker, and WrestleMania, and you should watch the Firefly Funhouse match with Bray Wyatt and John Cena. Definitely do it, just because they're the most brave, fun, out there kind of things that WWE has ever done, and they took some risks and they really paid off. So yeah, it's good stuff. Did I ever watch Henry V with Kenneth Branagh? Once he adapts to Shakespearean language, it's quite the movie. I have a real block with Shakespearean language. I'm terrible at decoding it, even though if I sat there and watched a bunch of Shakespeare stuff, then I really wanted to go, because I live in London, I really wanted to go to the Globe Theatre and watch some Shakespeare at the Globe. Maybe this summer, if we're allowed to, if things happen again. But it's I studied Shakespeare in school like everyone does, and I really still couldn't like. And I'm decent at English. I would, I was a decent writer when I was in school, and I could still never get through the whole rhyming couplets thing. Those are not your kind of matches. That took you so long to understand the broken heart game foundation, doesn't it? Yeah, that's fair enough, Dottie. You want the ring, and you want the atmosphere, and you want the whole thing. I would say that's fair enough. And if you want the spectacle, then this is WrestleMania is definitely not for you. And that's fine. I'd say as like a note or a note in wrestling history, or should be. I think it should be watched. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend WrestleMania this year. You want the sport, exactly. Go watch some New Japan, Dottie. Hopefully you watch some New Japan. Any breastplate suggestions for other dressers? I have. You should go to AliExpress.com and search for a Rwanya, and I've had several breastplates from them, and they're really, really, really damn good. Recently, in the last set, I actually there was some customs fees to pay on it, and the company could not get the information through to me for some reason. And so it sat like in London or in England or at an airport waiting to clear customs, and they couldn't get the thing to me. And the seller was super Rowenia. The seller was super helpful. They even got it through for me, and super great customer service. Really. Go Romania breast. Search for that on AliExpress, and you will get a very nice breastplate. There are ones that have like the neck like right up to the chin. I don't like those, but it's fine to cut them down. But yeah, just message me if you need any more help with that. But yes, Rwanya from AliExpress, my favorite. Rishinku, Firefly was amazingly meta. Boneyard, I think they can do again. Firefly, maybe, yeah. Firefly, like Bray Wyatt and John Cena, that was amazing because like for me, because they really delved into one thing that wrestling does best is actually reaching into its own history and the way people change and the characters they have, and Firefly Hunters just went all the way through that, like just deconstructed John Cena's character like throughout the whole match, throughout the whole segment, let's say, and John Cena was still trying to do the thing he did best at those times, and still he just couldn't do it. And it's like Bray Wyatt pinned his soul. Great. Yeah. I say that the first WrestleMania match that I watched was WrestleMania 24 back in 2008, which had Michaels versus Flair. The Money in the Bank match was CM Punk won. Even JBL and Finlay. Really? Okay. Good, yeah. That's the thing. I didn't get back to watching wrestling till 2014. It was just after WrestleMania 30. And in the end, we couldn't even see Cena. No, exactly. Oh, thank you, Tennyson. Oh, I love this hair. Like, it's been a long time since I've had I've got another nice brunette wig, but this feels really nice. This feels really nice. Like, every so often I come across something where I'm just like, this is really fishy. It's lovely. Damn. I want Zack Sabre Jr. to tie up my limbs. Dottie, you're gonna hate me, but I was there when Zack Sabre Jr. lost the Rev Pro title, and we watched an amazing match with him and Will Ospreay. It was so good, so good. It's so good. Could you write the brand of the breastplate? I will. I'll tell you what. I'll even give you a link to the ones that I generally buy. Okay. I'll stick that in the chat. How about that? It makes more sense to do that. Doobie. So, sorry, this is going to be a long link, but please, is it clickable? I hope it's clickable. Why can't I post it? Oh, it's... Tell you what, I'll just type it because the link is like 280 characters long. So. There you go. Yeah, I can't stop playing with it. It's definitely this, you know. It's like one of those ones that I need to brush it all the time. Brush it all the time. Such a WrestleMania, you're too funny. Oh, I do love wrestling. Like I said, I only came back to it in like 2015 and I grew up watching it and just sort of fell in love with it over and over again. Thank you, Nicholas Mirbo. Thank you so much. Big hoops, which I also got off AliExpress, I think. Yeah, that's no problem, Ambon. No problem. I ordered a next one. What's that, Jody? How do you mean next one? You mean like another breastplate? Yeah. But yes, I yeah. Saw Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. and it was a sick match. It was so good. So I ordered a new breastplate. No, I got one delivered last week, so I'm okay. I actually the reason I was doing that, I have like a gel filled one and I've got a cotton filled one. And I've been wanting to like modify them for ages and put some more stuffing in. So there's going to be a set that I shot with the other day that is coming your guys' way sometime in the next couple of months. And I stuffed the boobs filler. So you can get like cotton ones or cotton filled ones or gel filled ones. So I got some cotton ones. Which I would suggest if you care about like comfortability and wearing them for a long time, get the cotton ones. If you like them to jiggle, get the gel ones. At the moment I have like a pair of gel ones and a pair of cotton ones, and I stuffed the cotton ones full of more cotton, and they're quite big. Knowing me, they're quite big. Gel ones seem more fun. I would say that, yeah, again, I'll stand by it. If you're intending to wear them for a long time, or you want to go out and you're not worried about somebody groping them and going, "Oi, these are full of cotton," then wear the cotton ones. But the thing is that, and if you're interested in the way they move and what people watch and seeing them bounce around, and the gel ones, because the gel ones are quite significantly heavier. Like, I'm probably not really that fit, but you'd need some good back muscles for the gel ones. If you want to wear them for a long time. And even after shooting with the gel ones, I really like them. I really like the way they move, and I really like, you know, what they do. But after shooting in the gel ones, especially when I'm walking around and I've got other stuff on, like a corset, and I've got hip pads and I'm really hot and stuff, and I'm bending around cameras and trying to fix lights. You should see watching me try and do a shoot is not sexy. It's not sexy. It's like 20 seconds of posing in front of a camera and then me cursing and swearing and sweating and going, "Oh God, why isn't this doing this? What can I do? Oh my God, it's too bright. Not in focus. Where's the light? It's in the wrong place." That's why I don't do much behind the scenes stuff, because most of it is just me cursing. And the cotton ones are sometimes a bit cheaper, yes, especially with those Romani ones. The difference between the cotton and the gel ones is like $100. So the great thing about those Romani ones is that they are cheap, and they are good. I've had stuff that costs twice as much, that is half as good. You know. Show me yours, but I really think big cotton ones are under 1 to 1.5 kilos, and the same size in silicone. It's around 5k in GRH cups. Yeah. Like I say, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. I was like a gel. What's the word? Stalwart until I realised that cotton ones are light, and for 99% of the time I wear them, I'm taking pictures, so it doesn't matter how they move, or I'm not like groping them, or if I do grope them, then it still looks perfectly fine. So it's all right, Tennyson. Yeah, especially with those ones that I am talking about, the G cup ones from Romania. They're the cotton ones under $100. So good stuff. And of course, you know, we should all be supporting people right now, especially, you know, business people in China, that sort of thing. Or we should, you know, if we can, I know we're all like, if we're in a good position to, need to support the economy in some ways. Hi, Vinny. Oh, Vinny. Vinny was someone who bought me this wig, so thank you so much, Vinny. Thank you so much. I really, really love it. And it's just a good, super nice, normal girl wig. I'm still like, I'm still like not sure what color hair I should be. I mean, people say I should be. I'm a blonde, definitely. I act like a blonde, but I feel great in any hair color. Like if this was red, I'd love that too. Nice top was today just not warm enough for you. It was warm enough, definitely. But I think I put this on the other night, because I'd just done a shoot and I was like hanging out afterwards, and I was like, what's comfortable? I haven't worn this in ages, so you know I haven't worn this in years and years and years. So I put it on and it's just nice. And yeah, so I'm quite warm. And so a skirt? No, it's a dress. It's a jumper dress. So I will. Thank you, Vinny. I'm glad it does suit me. Yeah, it's a dress. It's dress. You know. Yeah. Excuse me. Off the shoulders. I'm a sucker for off the shoulder stuff. The only trouble with off shoulder stuff is if I want to raise my arms above a certain level, it sort of messes it up. I never got used to that. I never got used to the pin your elbows by your sides kind of thing. I'm not very good at it. Oh, and also if you're not in the chat, thank you to Splosive Man for becoming a patron. Thank you so much once more. We're not going to have the sweater dress v jumper argument again, are we? Maybe not. Maybe not. There's one person who was very adamant that you can't have a sweater dress. But I think we're proving it. That was a totally different jumper. That was a different jumper. Which I still have. I should get that out actually, because some, you know. Yes, elbows at tight, yeah, limp wrists. Yeah, elbows at sides and limp wrists. Yeah, maybe. Panty flat. Oh god, I'm so sorry. That shouldn't have happened. It's okay. This stream is intended for mature audiences. And then if I get kicked off YouTube, then I'll have to go to Twitch. So, you know. I thought wearing black panties would help with that, but no. Thank you, Dee. It's a nice dress. It's a nice dress. It's a nice dress. Thank you, Shell Shocks. I don't know if I believe you, but I hope it's true. a week on from playing first time. Do you have any additional thoughts about the RE3 remake? I am on my third playthrough at the end. I finished the game on standard on stream. I finished the game on hardcore, which feels like standard, really. And then I am and the last boss on Nightmare. And the last boss on Nightmare is a horrible thing. And my thoughts on it are, it still feels unfinished. There's not enough content. And in terms of like replayability, I think the extra difficulty levels are great. So I haven't tried it on Inferno yet, but I will play it on Inferno. I think I was trying to get through on Nightmare because I want to have the Inferno playthrough be on stream. So we're gonna do that, and I'll sit down at some point, maybe tomorrow, and just finish it. And I think there needs to be more in RE3. I really hope they've got some sort of DLC like scenarios like they did with RE2, and that there is going to be more to it, because otherwise it just feels like, okay, the game itself, the campaign the story mode is great. It's really, really good. There's some odd little things that I don't like about it, like about the controls especially. Like sometimes things feel a little bit like in RE2 I never felt like I felt like everything had a good flow. There was never like any like weird stuff going on but in RE3, like, okay, so in RE2 I'd happily aim, fire, and then I'd want to like quick turn and reload because I want to move away or I want to run away and create some more space. And you can't, like, if you let go of aim and then try and reload, for some reason it doesn't let you for like a second. So you like lose a lot of these weird bits and pieces. I think sometimes the dodging works really badly because the zombies don't seem to have like a consistent like hurt box. So it's very, very tricky to do a lot of the dodges. And I'm trying to account for me not being very good or something like that. You know, I'm trying to account for that. I'm trying to say, okay, at what point am I rubbish? I also feel I had some issues with the camera, especially on a couple of the Nemesis fights. On not the last Nemesis fight, but the one in the lab. Nemesis is constantly bounding up to you, right in your face, right in the camera. And so you can barely see what he's doing. You have to sort of like dodge off feel, and it just doesn't look very good. And especially like when you're thinking about like Resident Evil 4, one of the great things Resident Evil 4 did, that not many people notice, is that when you're in like a bigger battle and in like a larger arena, the camera will pull back. So the camera, like how far the camera pulls back depends on how big the place you is. And the camera will pull back so you can see more, and it doesn't happen at all in RE3. And normally there's only small spaces, but I'm rambling a little bit on that one. But that one sticks out to me as like there's some quality of life stuff in there. Also the grenade launcher, they clearly like made the animation and then went, oh hey, we've got to make the cooldown time after every shot like longer. So again, like I say, I'm talking about reloading and things, like you should be able to like fire, drop the gun, reload, and walk away, and you can't for some reason. It's just really weird. But yeah, those are the only real problems I have with the game, and the rest of it's awesome, absolutely awesome. And it's just those kind of things like one of the reasons that Resident Evil 4 is my favorite game ever is because you can push the difficulty and make your own restrictions and play that game over and over again, and the mechanics never break down. Everything's always smooth, everything's always what's the word, immediate, and you can always think about what I want to do within the rules of this game and do it. And Resident Evil 3 kind of breaks down a little bit, and there's a little bit of bullshit in there. Right, sorry folks, that was a rant on Resident Evil 3. But we'll get more into it when I play it again on stream. Thank you, Hugo. Yes, it was New York Internet when we had the argument about the jumper dress. Definitely. Yeah, Rio Shinko. I mean, like, those are my thoughts on it at the moment. I still love the game. I'm still going to play it a bunch. And we're going to... the idea is to play through all difficulty modes, then get an S rank on all difficulties. And then after that, we'll see if there's more to be done. And hopefully there might be some DLC or something. How long have I been cross-dressing? Oh, God, 13 or 14 years, I think. I'm 36 now, and I always wanted to dress, but I never had the situation where I wanted to do it. No, where I could do it. I decided, like, when I was younger that I would only do it when I had a place of my own and I could have freedom and enjoy it and do what I wanted to do with it, instead of like being someone who, instead of hiding it away from people in my house, my family, or something like that. I just wanted to have my own space to do it, and I didn't get that till I was about 22 or 23. So it's been I wish I'd started earlier now. Maybe I would be at a different point in my life if I'd started earlier, but I can't say it's a regret, because if I'd started earlier, I might not be here. I might not have hit the window where I could actually make a little bit of a living out of it, in the way that I want to. So, all your life choices bring you to this point. All your life choices and life circumstances bring you to the latest point in your life, and I'm pretty good with it. I'm pretty good with where I am in terms of dressing. I still feel good about how I look, and so nose piercing soon. Wow. Oh, I don't know about that. I need to get my ears done. I keep thinking about getting my ears done, and then clearly it's not going to happen until all this rubbish is over. And I'm saying, I've been cross-dressing for a couple of days. I mean, it's the first time I ever really had to go makeup myself. But it's been a while. And Bon started dressing last year at 21. I agree so much. Yeah, like it feels like you think about it and you go, oh, I'm sure that I'm certain that the best years were behind me, but it's not true at all. Not true at all. It takes a long time to feel it takes a long time to develop who you are as a girl, and to feel out the person you want to be. And I think like a bit of maturity helps that a lot. So, I mean, I didn't even feel like I was really doing well or doing cross-dressing good until I was like 5 or 6 years in, and I discovered like the way I do my eyes, or the way I'd done my eyes for years, and I don't know, just something clicked, and I started feeling really good about it, and just kept developing it from there. But... Oh, thank you, Tennyson. That's so sweet. I don't know about wisdom. Wisdom is one of those things that you can say wise things to people and then never be able to take your own advice, or it's not like my life is awesome, but just really start experimenting before you're even born. Oh my goodness. Wow, you've had much more experience. It's great. Nothing is a substitute for experience. Trading youth for wisdom. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't think I would. I'm glad of the life path I've taken to how I feel about Nikki Nicole at this point. I feel very good about her, and probably better about her than literally anything else in my life, or anything else I've ever had in my life in terms of, you know. So if you're just starting out dressing and you're worried about how you look and you think, oh God, I'm not very good, you just need to keep going and try and find the thing that fits you. And once you find the thing that fits you, suddenly you'll find that you fit a lot of other stuff. How do I maintain such a femme physique? I started working out, but I think I'm winding up too muscular manly. When I was about, when I was 29 or something, 28, about 8 years ago now. God, 8 years ago now. I was, and this I've been dressing for a while. I decided I was probably like, I think it was 165 pounds, which is what, it's like, I'm like 13 stone. I'm like 5'8". And I decided, oh my God, I'm fat. I've got to work out. I've got to do everything. So I got myself a bunch of weights, and I worked out. I had a squat rack. And a bench in my living room, and I went absolutely nuts over diet and exercise. Felt and like for 6 months, and I got myself. I got myself down to like 135 pounds. Like, and that's about the limit of where I want to be and be healthy. And I had shoulders, like I still wish I hadn't built those shoulders. I had shoulders, I didn't have a six pack, a proper six pack, but I was there, you know, in terms of how thin I was. I look at pictures of myself when I was canning at that time, and oh my God, like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just be athletic. It's really hard to, if you're trying to build muscle, if you're trying to slim down, athletic and fit always looks great. You just have to think about the clothes you're wearing to show that off. So don't worry about it. I would say how long have you been working out? It was all, in the 80s, I think. Little shoulder pads, big hair, and loads of blush. Oh yeah, it's one of the reasons I love the 80s. Should have taken up wrestling when I was fighting fit. Yeah, and then my back went, and I stopped working out so much, and I did yoga instead, and now I can't get back the physique I had. I always been fortunate to be naturally slim. I do bloat out a little bit. I have a little spare tire on my belly, and I would say that, you know, really, part of the art of dressing, or part of the art of being a woman, is being able to, and part of the art of fashion at all, completely, is to understand your body type, understand what looks good on you, and what is slimming, and what is this, what is that, what can play down your shoulders. That plays a huge part of things, an absolutely huge part of things. If you're just really slim and tiny and like a 120 pound person, 120 pound 5'7" person, then anything will look good on you. Fine, that's awesome, that's good. But if you're any of the 90% of other people, then it's time to like really think about like a bit of understanding. Like I tend to wear stuff that's flattering. Like I haven't shown my stomach in my Patreon or stuff for a long time, really. But and if I do, I'm wearing high-waisted skirts that pull me in. I'm wearing like sort of like schoolgirl skirts or short skirts that sit around here. I'm wearing like A-line dresses. A-line dresses are so flattering for your figure because A, they come to just under your boob line, and B, it's very easy to select the right kind of shoulder and neckline to fit you. So A-line dresses, 50s dresses, if you love like feminine stuff, then that's a really, really great place to go. Rockabilly dresses and like short like mini dresses that have like what's the word, you know, skirts and things like that. Hi Susie, how are you doing, my darling? One's life is a stream, always bouncing off this rock or pebble. You never know where you end up, but it's a journey that defines you. Indeed, your circumstances and your choices define who you are. And sometimes your circumstances limit your choices, but you always have choices. Got to go. Always joy to. Thank you so much, Dee, and thank you for coming in, and thank you for pledging as well. It's wonderful. And hugs. Spare tire is an eternal bugbear. Dropped £42 about 15 years back and kept a good £30 of it off since then, but time hangs on. Yeah. For people of the male genetic persuasion, you put weight on your stomach first, and it's the last to go, and that's it. With women, it's hips, so women can carry a bit more weight and still look womanly, but with a bloke, unless you're super slim, you have to find a way to downplay that, or and it's an art, it's an art. I could make a video on that. I could make a video about that, because it's something, because I've done so many looks over the years. It is something you really start to think about, and something you internalize, and you go, is that going to look good on me? Is that not going to look good on me? Do I need a corset with this? Is this corset going to look good? And how is this going to look on my shoulders? Doesn't mean I'll be topping up my tan in a skimpy bikini tomorrow. High waist bikini, and also, yeah, for like 10 minutes on the balcony, maybe. I don't know. I've been toying the idea of doing some. We've got a balcony in our flat, which is awesome, and it's big enough that I can do some yoga on it. So I might do that. I think I do that just to feel like feel good outside. You try toning, but you're scared of getting too big. And Bomb, I will say, like, you won't, unless you're eating more than you need, you can't get bigger. It's a thing. It's a law of thermodynamics, is that energy cannot be created or destroyed. You can only transfer it. So you can't build muscle when you're not feeding yourself enough. It's just an impossibility. And when you're toning, you're going to look more athletic, which is really, really attractive across either gender, across all genders. If you're working to be slim, if you're working to be athletic, again, you'll be fine. It's easy. How do I get my voice so femme? I will point you to another video on my channel. I did do like a feminine voice tutorial back when I was like trying to do a YouTube thing, and that's basically everything that I used, and every sort of like tip that I did, and how I developed my voice is there. So I point you towards that tutorial. Does my balcony catch any sun? Yes, we have the sun in the morning, so we get sunrise, and then probably about 11ish we lose the sun. It's got like a big like solid metal railing as well. So I mean, like, we just like tiny little bubbly holes in, like Swiss cheese. So it's not like really even open, but it's kind of private, but not. It's private to the people down below, and not private to anybody else around. Yeah, building out is always a lot of work. It is. You got to feel it out. You got to feel it out, and the best thing to do is to start with what do you like. How do you want to look? Who do you want to look like? How do you want to? What kind of style do you want to? I mean, even on the scale of how, do you want to be feminine and pretty and nice, or do you want to be sexy and sultry and slutty or something like that? There's a lot of I don't know, a lot of play there. I sort of think about things in that way. Or, just find something you like and think about what's going to work with it. I also did a YouTube video on how I build an outfit as well, so you can see that. Wow. You're lucky you get the sun in the garden until about 4. Oh my goodness. Wonderful. Is your road going, is your garden, it must be west, it must be east facing back, right? Or not quite, no. Oh, ignore me. Hi, Thunder Emperor, you made it back. Hi. I'm so sorry about the stream before. YouTube has... some problems with their new streaming services. Not good. But we made it here, and I couldn't actually post anything. Went to the new thing, I went to the new stream, and I couldn't get back to the old stream to link anybody to the new stream. So, will you marry me? Oh, I don't know. It depends on how big the ring is, darling. You know. But you're very sweet. Saw a great clip on the news today. They had two guys leaning out of adjacent flats, many floors up, playing that tennis game the French play on the beach with wooden bats. Very impressive. Yeah, very impressive. That's great. Score, says Tennyson. Oh. Speaking of scoring, I'm going to try and score myself a drink. I'll pop out for 2 minutes and I'll be right back. Oh, okay. Oh. No. Ah, look at that. Stand by. What's tonight's liquid refreshment? Tonight's is vodka and Diet Coke, as is the usual. So we're gonna have another couple of these over the stream and see what goes on. See if we haven't played games on the stream for ages. We can play some party games. I think this is a good time. It's a very good time. Oh, it's a very good time in the world to sort of like forget about things and play some stuff together. So we might do that. Anyway, I'll be right back. In a sec. Hello, we're back. Are we back? Are we back? Can you guys see me? Oh. Or did we lose the stream? Did we lose the stream? Oui. Ah, we're back. Hello. Cool. Sorry, I'm just... This is like the second time I've worn this hair, so we're like just practicing with some different arrangements. Thank you, guys. Oh no, everybody left. Oh, I went away for 2 seconds and everybody left. Teaching yourself French on Duolingo. Okay, I don't know what Duolingo is, but sounds like 2 languages. Okay, we were. You're still here. You're still here, Susie. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome. How am I getting my grocery shopping done nowadays? Mainly at the local shop, because they didn't run out of anything. And queuing up outside Iceland like everyone else, pretty much. So it's fine. It's fine. All right. Well, no, we need to even these up a little bit. Excuse me. Stupid dress. You are French. Oh, je suis anglais. Have watched any Picard yet? Yes. Oh. Brushing my hair. Oh god, it's all. Oh, it's all. I need to brush. Ah, jeudi. Conseil. Did I cry? No, I didn't. I don't. I have problems with Picard. I think toward like the last 3 episodes, it started off really intriguingly and interestingly, and we're like, okay, let's see where it goes. It's a bit of a mystery, and then it turned into, for me, lots of modern sci-fi, which is just, hey, we said science things. Hey, Android doing Vulcan mind meld, stuff like that, like, and just bits and pieces that just threw me off horribly. And I was like, I couldn't. I really loved that Data and Picard got to have a chance to talk, and that Data got a chance to say goodbye and go out on his own terms. I was happy about that. But the rest of the show just the Vulcan mind meld was a bit shit. It was, yeah. I just feel like the whole series could have had a simpler story. I understand it was sort of built off like a sci-fi premise, like, is synthetic life what's the word, not valid, or could it be superior? I think the weird thing is that they had to open the portal to the dimension where the super advanced AI life forms live, and when it closed, I was like, why don't they just come back since they're so advanced? Now that the thing was a beacon, they just came through, and oh yeah, there was some good things in it. There was I'm sorry, spoilers for Picard, by the way. Sorry about this. There was like, here's an android body that doesn't have a person in it yet, doesn't have a personality in it yet. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's for Picard, isn't it? Because he's going to die. So the new Star Trek shows feel as smart as I think they are. Star Trek always had camp. It always had bad episodes. It was always completely it's either Gene Roddenberry's vision, or like a thing by committee, written by committee, or produced by committee. And Rick Berman is the worst thing to ever happen to Star Trek, ever. And I'm going to stand by that, because every single great thing that Star Trek has ever done has been sort of under the nose of Rick Berman without him knowing about it. Like, I mean, the whole like with DS9, like the whole like last few seasons of DS9 was basically about starting the Dominion War, so Rick Berman couldn't stop it. But you know, I don't know. If you want to delve into it, there's lots and lots there. But Rick Berman's the worst thing to ever happen to Star Trek. But yeah, haven't seen any Discovery yet. Don't bother. The first episode again was promising, and I was like, "Oh, it's interesting. Where are they going to go with this?" And then by the third episode, I was looking at my phone the entire time, and then I went, "I didn't watch any of that episode, and therefore it wasn't even worthy of background noise." And apart from that, I don't know. Hi, Caxor. Thank you so much. You asked my age, but I'm 36. Problem with these new Star Trek shows that from the writer of The Mummy 2017 and Transformers 2. Yep, there you go. Yeah. That bit where, remember when Shia LaBeouf went to Robot Heaven? That's about it. It's like, the thing is though, writing these days, I want to use the, it's like J.J. Abrams, the way J.J. Abrams does things, or writes things. He's a very good director, and he can pull it off well, and often has like a lot of really good stuff. But it's like writing these days tends to be, from the point of view, they start with the question, what would be cool? What looks cool? What sounds cool? What's a cool thing we can do? And then how can we write these characters into doing these cool things? Whereas, like, you say something like, take something like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Sopranos, Wire. A lot of it is about who are these people and what did they do next. And I think, you know. Crap. Hi, Jorge. Jorge. Let's say Jorge. When I broadcast and Chatterbait, no plans. No plans to do so. Probably never again. Last time I was on Chatterbait, I got kicked off for being drunk. And I have no desire to go back to it. That's my answer. JJ writes expensive fan fiction. I'm a big fan of JJ Abrams. I like his stuff. I like, he has a way of doing things where, yeah, it's dumb. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't make sense. And sometimes it's from the point of view of, hey, this would be really, really cool. But he weaves in enough understanding, or not understanding, enough like, you can tell it's made by someone who loves the thing they're making. Like, I really, really like, I like the Star Trek 2006, or it's 2006. I like the reboot, because it was a lot of fun. And as soon as you divorce the Star Trek name from it, it's fine, because it's a brand new thing. Whereas with like Picard, TNG is one of my favorite shows ever, and every time I watch any TNG, I love The Next Generation more and more and more. It doesn't matter which episode it is, and there's some goddamn horribly offensive, racist, sexist stinkers in TNG. It's really bad. Like if you look at like the first like couple of seasons, it's like, hey, let's go to the planet of tribal people, and oh look how tribal they are, and I understand they were trying to do something, but there's some really, really horrible insensitivity in TNG in the first couple of seasons. But I still love it for being a time capsule. And past those 2 seasons, I really love the characters. I think Picard is an excellent starship captain. He's still my favorite. because just purely because he's not like an action hero like Kirk. He's not like a let's punch somebody like Cisco. He's not a complete tyrant, despot, sadist who makes stupid decisions like Janeway. And he's not a complete idiot like Captain Archer. So he's like just this learned, studious, very, very wise man who can turn a great speech. And in Picard, the new show, even his character isn't really that good. He's just kind of on for the ride most of the time. And all these, I want to do nice things. And they go, okay, hey, Picard makes speeches, and the speeches aren't even that good. You know? And everybody goes, oh, Picard made a speech. And then you just watch like an episode like The Drumhead, and that's probably my favourite Picard speech. Which is about, oh god, what that episode is about. It's basically about the Cold War, pretty much, and how rules change depending on the situation, and how trials and things must change in the times. And that's an excellent Star Trek episode, and it never leaves the Enterprise. It's a bottle episode. It's a very cheap episode that they produced, and it's just written perfectly. Do I like the old Star Wars trilogy? When I was a kid, my favourite character was Darth Vader. I grew up watching Star Wars, and I loved Star Wars growing up. I don't have a connection with it like I used to, because the prequels came out, and I watched episode 1 and went, hey, that's alright, I guess. And then I had no interest in Star Wars, and I didn't know why. I wasn't old enough to sit and think about these things enough. Whereas nowadays, people just complain about everything. I just stopped watching Star Wars, and I didn't catch up with the prequel trilogy until a long time later. And that killed it for me. I really do like the new trilogy. I really liked Force Awakens. I have problems with Last Jedi, even though there was some really good bits in it. I think there were some nice things in it, but ultimately as a film it fails quite heavily. And Rise of Skywalker, I had so much fun watching that movie. I could not give a toss about anything else. So it was great. It was just awesome and silly and wonderful, and just rode so far into camp and insanity that I just can't not enjoy that movie. I haven't watched it again, but I had a great time in the cinema with it, and that's it. Star Wars has gone to rest. I don't care about Star Wars anymore. I don't care about Marvel. I don't care about cinematic universes. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want to watch good films now. Yeah. Hey, so I would disagree. Tingy was so much in the 90s, everything was on my committee, and the woman has psychic abilities, of course, Picard. Yeah, you do want. It does beg the question about Picard as a captain. Why does he need his therapist sitting next to him the whole time? But I don't know. There was. I think it's my favorite. He's my favorite. My favorite. As soon as TNG got out of tried to get out of the horrible camp stuff and figured out what it was as a show. Like season 3 of TNG is excellent, fantastic. 4 and 5, great too. 6 and 7, they started to run out of ideas, and it started to become a bit of a parody of itself. And how do you think Rogue One compares? I've seen Rogue One once, and I was massively entertained. I did enjoy it. And I think, but at that point when I watched it, I was not done with Star Wars, but I was out of the. I'm not in the Star Wars fandom or anything like that. Like, I could sit here and pick apart like wrestling or WrestleMania until the cows come home, because I'm part of the fandom. I'm in there. I'm really passionate about it. But I don't have the level of passion. I mean, we've talked about Star Wars before. And I like Rogue One because it's a solid film. It's a solid sort of action film, Star Wars type film. Telling a story which is always interesting to me. Is like, surely there's a story in getting the Death Star plans, and that's fine. And that's about all I think about Rogue One. I haven't watched it since, so I don't remember a lot about it. I remember it being fine. Haven't seen the last Star Wars because I lost interest. Go for it. Have a bit of fun. There are some really great things in Last Jedi. Like they if I was gonna go into it, I would say the relationship between Rey and Kylo Ren has always been like the strongest part of this newer trilogy, and that is what saves it. I think in my mind, I do enjoy watching the progression of it and their back and forth, and Kylo Ren has some really great stuff in the last film, and some really great acting as well, and I super liked it. Chris, go for it. Just I mean, to be honest, after Last Jedi, the only reason I wanted to go, I made my flatmate go and see Rise of Skywalker, but I was like, let's put it to bed. This is the end of Star Wars, so then it can be the end of Star Wars, and then it's all capped off, and then we can just like move on. So, but yeah, I mean, Rey and Kylo Ren, good relationship, good acting. Kylo Ren especially has some really, really great bits in Rise of Skywalker, and I recommend it. That huge Luke fan, knows portrayal divided people, but I dug it. I know Mark Hamill apparently hated it. But he's so good. He's a great actor, so he nailed it. What they wanted him to do, he nailed it. Whatever problems he had with it, he nailed it. You know, he didn't just like phone it in, and say, "Well, hey, I don't like this. I don't think Luke would do this." And he had some really great comedy and some really great timing and some good stuff in it. I think, to be honest, I think the portrayal of Luke in that was one of the stronger parts of that film, and I liked the idea that, you know, Luke Skywalker was just fucking done with all this crap, you know. But I'd agree, he should have some foresight to see, you know, it should have been more like, maybe like, well, I knew you'd come eventually. I knew I'd have to go back to it, and he grudgingly does it, you know, instead of just trying to scare her off the whole time. But I really like the way he went out. He went out rescuing the Resistance, and you know, didn't even like sorry, Brian, I just went back. I didn't even like Star Wars till the mid-90s when the Jedi Knight video game came out. Jedi Knight 2 is one of the most fun games I've ever played, and I need to get back to that. I do have it. I have it off GOG. I've played a lot of Jedi Academy as well, but Jedi Outcast is probably one of my favourite games, I think. I mean, we're going to play it on stream at some point. It's great. Good stuff. But yeah. Anyway, Star Wars. Yeah, fine. Shadows of the Empire, never played that. That was one of the games that would define the N64, right? Vodka and Diet Coke, ran out of ginger. Oh no, my flatmate went out and bought supplies. So if you bought supplies, you get to, you know, if you're gonna go out and buy it, and you get to choose the mixer. So, right. It's wine. That's some pretty dark wine. May the force be with you, and yes. But okay, other TV shows. We talk about TV shows. Better Call Saul is great right now. You got wine tonight, Susie. Good. What kind of wine? Red or white? Sparkling or not? But yeah, Better Call Saul, great show. Red, good stuff. And a single-use straw, guys. It's a cardboard straw. Thank you very much. It's made of cardboard. It's not plastic. Glass of milk, Caxor. Oh my god, living the life. Oh, I stopped drinking. I used to like drinking milk, but I stopped drinking milk because we don't want to go out to the shop so often, and you know, got to make cups of tea and that. But yeah, Better Call Saul. Watch Better Call Saul. Have you seen Breaking Bad? If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, watch Breaking Bad, and then watch Better Call Saul, because BCS is for me is actually way better. You watch any of the Pose series? I did not. I'm sorry, Susie. I'm sorry. Got lots to watch during this quarantine. Yeah. It reminds me, actually, I haven't watched The Wire. I need to watch the rest of The Wire. Better Call Saul is great. It's like Breaking Bad, but grown up. I love it. There's Breaking Bad. Like, you sort of remember Breaking Bad for the stunts, and the sorry, not the stunts, but the wacky plans and the crazy like back and forth momentum swinging of, and feeling like everything's the worst it can get all of the time until it gets worse. And there's Breaking Bad is so intense, and also, but there's also some incredibly good drama in there, and some really, and it's really driven by its characters, and it's a really, really wonderful show. But Breaking Bad is guilty of kind of doing stunts a little bit, you know, whereas Better Call Saul, there's little plans, there's little bits and pieces, there's lots of pieces that move into place, and honestly, it's a better, well-crafted show about characters who are changing slowly, and it's just really, really good, really, really good. Take all the best parts of Breaking Bad, and then age it up a little bit, make it grow up, make it a more a more rounded out show, and it's great. Better Call Saul is heartbreaking. Saul's Break is not getting. I don't want to go into. I really don't want to go into spoilers at all with Better Call Saul, but there's some really great, well-rounded, well-built relationships, some incredible acting, and loads of good, quiet character moments. And I honestly cannot find anything wrong with this show at all. I really, really suggest it, especially if you watch Breaking Bad. Peaky Blinders, yes. Sorry, Ita, hello. How's it going? I think it's Peter Gould who runs it, not Gilligan. But Peter Gould was like, executive producer on Breaking Bad, and in all the writers' rooms and things. And I think, yeah, in Breaking Bad, they kind of, as a writer's room, I guess they were a sucker for a stunt. There is still like a moment of, wouldn't it be cool if this happened? It's often like, where are these characters going? Who are they? What are they feeling right now? And then, we could do this really cool thing. Whereas Better Call Saul is just, it's really, really good. Sorry, it's just much more reserved and much more, and it feels better for it, you know. But yeah, Better Call Saul, yeah, it's one of, and like I think there's a couple of super heartbreaking moments in the last couple of seasons as well, and I don't know, I don't want to spoil it. Wake up from an app to find a Nikki stream. Brilliant. Thank you, shoutout. Thank you. Eyes are looking good with these. I have like a ring light on the way that I might get hold of sometime in the quarantine, and we can have like a ring light over the top of the TV, and then my eyes should be really bright and stuff. It'd be great. Hi, Ryan Sullivan, one of my wonderful patrons. Hello. Thank you so much for popping in. Thank you. You can cute AF. Good. I like looking cute AF. Apparently, I'm getting some weird drop frames, but we're okay, I think. Listen to the official soundtrack of Peaky. That's Peaky Blinders. That's every intro is Peaky Blinders ever. Oh, thank you, Tennyson. But yeah, Peaky Blinders, great show. Again, it's starting to, the wheels are starting to come off that one a little bit, I think. Just with, I never like seeing Tommy Shelby. seeing Tommy Shelby in the position he's in now, I think it's changed the show away from what it is, and it seems to, I don't know, it's starting, it's not jumping the shark, but it's starting to become something very different to what it should be, I think. You know? First 2 seasons of Peaky Blinders are fucking awesome. They're really, really good. And taken as a whole, like, so with Peaky Blinders season 1 and 2, if you take it, both those seasons as like a single story, it's fantastic. Sam Neill is just perfect in both those seasons. Everybody acts really, really well, and the story is just really, really fucking good. You know, and Tom Hardy in one of his best roles as well. Absolutely, like Alfie Solomons is just so much fun, and I need to sit. I might just sit and watch some Peaky Blinders. I might just rewatch season 1 and 2 Peaky Blinders. I think it's on Netflix still. Like I said, I'm still invested in it. Like last year, ended up watching like the first 4 seasons because it's on Netflix and got introduced to me. So I binge watched it all, like while I was getting ready and like just randomly in bed and stuff like that, and had such a good time, you know. And whereas Peaky Blinders started out as this awesome thing, it's sort of become like the land of bad accents, and you know, the story's a bit like, I don't know, the story's fine in what's going on, but just the position that Tommy's ended up in, I feel is a step too far. I feel like he should always have been trying to get there, but never been accepted. You know, and that's, I thought that was a bit of a too much moment. But I feel like the showrunner, or Stephen Knight, his name is. I feel like he wants, it's Pickle Ricked itself a little bit, yeah. I feel like, again, it's like this wouldn't it be cool thing. It's like, hey, I want to tell a story about this person in history. How do I move the pieces of the Peaky Blinders into that time? Which is, I mean, I don't want to spoil it. We're talking about it in the characters, but like, what's his name? Is it Arthur Mosley or Max Mosley? No, Max Mosley was the son of Arthur Mosley. But Mosley was like someone who wanted to develop like the fascist party in 1930s Britain. And is quite a few years. I think it's 1930, like so a few years before the Second World War. And it felt like that it wanted to tell the story about Mosley, and so they're trying to fit all the other characters into it. And you know what the worst thing was is Arthur got a goddamn haircut, and now he's just short-haired guy when the whole slick back undercut thing he had was perfect. You know, it's trying to be a bit of a history lesson, and I think that's getting in the way of. I know I'm losing something out of that, and I know it's starting to unravel a little bit, I think. And with the move to BBC One, I think that was it might have been a little bit of a hand of chaos in there as well. Even though like you could take any like single scene in Peaky Blinders and go, that's awesome. Like there's a conversation between Tommy and Winston Churchill in the last series, which is really, really good, and it's acted so goddamn well. Cillian Murphy is so good in that series. He literally carries the entire thing. I would just watch episodes of him doing nothing, just because he was doing it. And that's what's really carrying me through it. And I'm invested now, so we're going to finish it. And I think like there's going to be 2 more seasons, I think. You're a beefy boy now. You're a beefy boy now, Tommy. Still need to like make the Peaky Blinders. I know. Me and my friend had a. I started saying, I'm a beefy boy. For some reason, I don't know. And then it turned into Peaky Blinders saying it. And then the idea was to make a parody of Peaky Blinders where they all told each other they were a beefy boy. Like, so you got Alfie Solomons and Arthur and Tommy in a room. Tommy's going, if you want to be a beefy boy now, Arthur, I'm a very beefy boy, Tommy. Very beefy boy. And just very things like that. Terrible. Waiting to start Save Me Too. I'd never heard of it. Speaking of great British actors, let's do it. Do it. I will look it up, Isa. I will look it up. The Mosey story made it tricky. We knew he wasn't shot in real life, so the finale meant he had to survive. And this is it. Like, you know, the whole thing about like Peaky Blinders is that it's not historically accurate at all. And the Peaky Blinders is a gang that did exist, but I don't know how much was actually documented about them. I know that they were a bedtime story used to scare children into being good. You know, Peaky Blinders have come for you. But that's all I know about the Peaky Blinders. I don't know how it's not historically accurate. But now in the last couple of series, they've started to try and bring in some more of the historic stuff, and it's become the land of bad accents. You've got like the leader of the Billy Boys, who, you know, should have the ultimate Scottish accent, sounds terrible. And then you had like Adrian Brody, who was like, he was trying to be Italian, bless his heart. He was like, "No, I'm an Italian gangster." And I know. Just I live for Cillian Murphy doing any acting, and Tom Hardy being Alfie Solomons, because he's always awesome. Wasn't a fan of Sam Neill's accent. He was told to tone that down because it was too goddamn authentic and nobody could hear what nobody knew what he was saying. I don't know if you're Irish, Chris, but I don't know. And I'm not Irish either, clearly. And don't ask me to do an Irish accent, please. But because I might offend some people really horribly. But apparently it was really, he has like, you know, very heavy Irish heritage, and he apparently nailed it really, really hard. It's a very typical Irish brogue, very, very broad Dubliner, and I've heard real people with accents just like that. So. Okay, Ryushinku, thank you so much for popping in, and I hope you have a good night and I hope you have a good Easter weekend. It's going to be warm tomorrow in England, so I hope you enjoy it, guys. Felt the Oswald Mosley plot was too contrived, and I cannot abide the gratuitous violence of shows like Blinders and Killing Eve. I think Peaky Blinders justifies the violence because it is like portraying like a very violent life. Maybe not so much in the last like couple of seasons or so, but Alfie Solomons don't like Italians. Oh my god. Just watch the show, guys. Watch the show. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Love Peggy preview. Yeah, we got the Peggy Bundy outfit. I'm so happy with that. It's been in the works for so long. And then eventually I did the thing that I do when I go, I need this hair, and I'm just going to put it on the credit card, and it's totally worth it. What do I think of Joker? I have not seen it yet, and I need to do that. Need to watch that. And though I've been done my absolute level best to not to spoil myself on it, so I can't talk about it, and I implore people not to spoil it. But I know Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor, and I'm sure the film is excellent and divisive and very hard to watch, and just got to find the right time to watch it. Okay, Kaxor, you assemble that bandsaw, and you help that friend to move. So thank you for popping in. It's lovely to see you. Love you. The Revival got released. What's that? Oh, I thought you were talking about a film. They actually. All right, that's great. So AEW bound then for the revival then. Awesome, awesome. Those guys definitely going to AEW, definitely. Like with Arn Anderson there as well, and Arn Tully being there, they would definitely. Which one's that? Which are you Dawson? Are you Dawson? Are you Dawson in disguise? Are you Dawson in disguise? I was there. I was there at the NXT takeover in London. Oh god. But yeah, so jazz for those guys because my god, they didn't fit in WWE. They will do really well in you need like a heel turn from Arn Anderson to join with the revival, and then we'll get the best form of them. So good. I mean, they've been talking about it for ages, but Brody Lee pretending Vince to be married. Yeah, I'm so happy that. Yeah, I'm so happy that they're getting their chance to do something, and I really like that Brody Lee turning to that because he could have just been the cult leader, and you think, okay, it's going to be the Wyatt family all over again. He's going to be a swamp cult leader, but the Dark Order have been pushing this like Scientology style thing for a while now, and Brody Lee being like this kind of ultimate alpha male thing with just these little nods to Vince McMahon. Like he wears a very similar tie and a very similar suit. Also, visibly hates people sneezing. If you don't watch wrestling, then this will mean nothing to you, and I love the context. I love that context as well. So, please, if you're confused, Vince McMahon hates people sneezing, and he loves eating steak. And Brody Lee has been taking off like lots of little bits and pieces, and it's just really cool. Like he's Vince meets the commander of Handmaid's Tale. Exactly. He's like trying to be a cartoon version of Vince that runs a cult, and there's a lot to draw on there. Well, it's great. I think it's awesome. I think he needs to do a few more and just like settle into it, but it's really good. And I'm excited for any upcoming films this year. I don't know what's coming out, honestly. I don't keep up with this stuff. I tend to this puppet. Such good shit. Yeah. Oh, I love that. There's a few of these things coming out, and that's one of the great things about wrestling is that it's able to mimic real life in the journeys of in the matches and the journeys of the people in those matches, because the people and the character might be separate, but you wouldn't have someone like Gary Oldman reference any of his old roles in a film. But in wrestling, like the wrestlers or the performer's journey is heavily intertwined with the character they play. So it's so like it opens up so much amazing storytelling. Bond, is there a new Bond? There's new Bond, isn't there? There's the last Daniel Craig Bond. I'm looking forward to that. I like Daniel Craig as Bond. I feel like he's been a bit of a Timothy Dalton in terms of I think he portrays a really, really good version of Bond, but not every film he's been in has been good at all. So with Daniel Craig, I really, really like he's sort of a return to. There's like a Venn diagram of James Bonds, and most of them fall. There's Roger Moore, who is the extremes are Roger Moore, who is just the smarm, the charm. There's Sean Connery, who's sort of like indestructible, who is like an army, he's like a navy man who's really, really efficient and also, knows a little quip when he does. And then you've got like the super action oriented ones like Timothy Dalton. And Daniel Craig exists somewhere between the sort of like Timothy Dalton and Sean Connery, where he's an ice cold fucking killer, and I love that. And it's great, and he's got the eyes for it, and he portrays it really, really well. And even the points where he shows a bit of humanity, it's very grudging and it's very, sarcastic and still like quite vulnerable. Like I really like Skyfall. Skyfall is a really good movie, and it's a really really good Bond movie. I think it's Daniel Craig's best one, and the only one I remember from it is Casino Royale. I saw Spectre and completely forgot about it after I watched it. Skyfall stuck in my memory quite big. I haven't seen Quantum of Solace. I know that they were trying to make a Jason Bourne movie instead of a Bond movie. My problem with Daniel Craig is you never see James Bond working out. It's because he's supposed to be like hardened by his job and conditioned. I'm sure he worked out tons. Spectre and Quantum of Solace, yeah, exactly. So Daniel Craig is. I think he's a great portrayal of Bond, but he's more in the Pierce Brosnan kind of thing, as he does a really good Bond, but most of the films are not very good. Like Pierce Brosnan was like GoldenEye is his top 5 Bond film, like without a doubt. It's straight up, it's so good, it's so much fun, and Pierce Brosnan is again, like he was a great Bond after Timothy Dalton. As Timothy Dalton was less of the charm and more of the gritty gritty underdog, one man against all this stuff, and there's a lot of effort, and then Timothy Dalton gets hurt, and then Roger Moore never gets hurt, he just like springs across like 5 crocodiles like it's nothing. But Pierce Brosnan had the charm of Roger Moore, and he had the grit and the heart of Timothy Dalton, and he was a very good Bond. But again, there's only one. I think Pierce Brosnan was in like 4 or 5, wasn't he? It was like 5. He had, and the only ones I can remember are GoldenEye and The World Is Not Enough. And I remember Die Another Day because it was dog shit. Bond should be dad bod. He should be dad bod. He shouldn't care about. He shouldn't be. Yeah, he should be. He's not about working out for. He's not about working out for aesthetics, is he? Whatever James Bond cosplay, I don't know if I don't know if it. I don't know if wearing a tux was would be would be feminine enough for me. I don't know. Being stuck at home this week, binged the latest Doctor Who series. Doctor Who was. Doctor Who, I enjoyed. Again, Doctor Who's like a bit like James Bond. If you enjoy the actor who's doing it right now, then who's doing it and the thing you're watching, then you're probably going to enjoy it because you enjoy them, and the rest of it you kind of like let go most of the time. So I like Matt Smith as Doctor Who because he was a sort of boyish, wondrous kind of, and not a classically good-looking Doctor. So I really liked Matt Smith, and the first few episodes, and I just kind of got bored with that. I watched 2 series of that, and I just went, actually, Doctor Who's just a load of bollocks, isn't it? I think that's where I went. That's where I ended up. Idris Elba Bond, yes, absolutely. We need a black James Bond. We had a woman Doctor Who. We need a black James Bond. Come on. Looked amazing as Tomb Raider. It wasn't a Tomb Raider cosplay. It was Resident Evil 3. But we'll do Tomb Raider sometime soon. I got to get like a good braid for Lara Croft. This hair might be good enough, but it's like thinking about was possible. Like it would be great to do a big braid in a long wig and sort of make that work. But with me, I'm not like a huge fan of putting my hair up. So we'll figure it out. Also, I have to get hold of another replica airsoft pistol. We lost Pussy Galore. Yes, we did, and that's a shame. I must be dreaming. And yeah, which is interesting because I never like rated Pussy Galore so as a Bond girl. She was very different, and she was cast very. She seemed to be cast very specifically to not look. She was very classically beautiful, and not in that kind of very young, like, oh hey, I'm a sex object kind of way. She was very, what's the word? I don't want to say mature because it's not the right word, but very wise kind of Bond girl. You know, Elvira cosplay maybe this Halloween. Maybe I'll get around to doing some sort of Halloween look, some actual Halloween look. I don't know. Halloween's like one of the ones I never. It's a big Halloween's a big deal for drag. Like it's a big deal, and I just never been able to do it. Did I take a picture of Jill holding a sandwich? I wish I should have done. You're almost a Jill sandwich. You're right. Mercy cosplay. Regina, yeah, I would totally do Regina at some point. It's interesting, like, because when you think of cosplays, right, you got to think about how difficult it is to get the stuff and how much it's going to cost as well. I don't have a big budget. I've got Patreon and things, but I don't have like a huge budget to get like loads of stuff custom made. So I'm at this point where I make like enough money to get stuff done, but it's not enough money to spend so much on one look. So the stuff I spend a lot of money on, like wigs, is generally because I have like, and I only buy like a big wig when I've got at least 3 looks planned for it and stuff like that. So the thing is like Dino Crisis, like I feel like that all that that get up, I'd have a look at it, but all that get up is a little bit bespoke and that kind of thing, and I don't always want to what's the word? I don't want to get like just a cheap costume unless it looks really good. Loads of people put loads of effort into their cosplay, and I feel like when I'm gonna do a cosplay, I should be able to either spend the right amount of money on it to get it really good, or it's easy enough to approximate, and like the Jill Valentine thing. And this is all a terrible way of saying that there's way more effort and money involved in that than and cosplay isn't where I want to be really. It's just like I have certain looks that I really want to do. Like I really love Marilyn Monroe. Like I really loved Jill from Resident Evil 3, one of my favourite games, and I wanted to do that. And what was the other one? The Alice in Wonderland one was actually something that came around because I was thinking about what I could do with my hair, and I think, oh, Alice would be interesting. So I tried to find something that really fit that looked really good. Really, Susie Fox? Really? Oh, Pussy Galore. Oh, there you go. Well, she's pretty good. We'd like to Alexa Bliss cosplay. I fucking love to. I really like. I like her blonde hair and pink tips. I would love to do big hair, blonde hair, pink tips, and then sort of do wrestling gear. But again, like the thing is with wrestlers, their gear changes like so much. It's kind of hard to get something like iconic and something that'll last. And also it tends to be something that you'd have to get custom made and would cost a lot of money, and which I don't have. So unless it's like something I'm really passionate about, I won't like. Unless it's something I'm really passionate about, I have like a certain amount of time and effort I'm going to put into it. And it sounds like I'm just, but I really want to follow my passion, and that's where I want to be. That's what I want to do, is to follow my passion with the looks I do. And there are things that, say, take someone like Alexa Bliss cosplay or a Regina cosplay. There are things about that look that make me feel really, really good. Like I really like the red bob that Regina has, but then I go, well, I really like that about it, and I don't care for the rest of it, or I'm not worried about the rest of it. So why don't I take that element of something and put it into something else? And that's the way I've always been. Like, I always want to be free with what I do. And I feel like if I do too much cosplay, it's sort of limits you a little bit. Because as soon as you call something, I had this before as well. Like, I'll do a picture, or I'll do like a look that's inspired by something, and I will put like a title to it. And unless I say kind of, or inspired by, or, you know, people will just go, that's not exactly what that is. And like, there's a lot of power in names, and I'm not blaming anybody for that, because if you say something is called this, and then you show it to somebody and it's not what they expect, then they go, well, that's not what I expected. And you've instantly lost a little bit. So I'm afraid to do that kind of cosplay stuff because I'm not like super passionate about getting things exactly. I like to look at some way I can be inspired by it and some way I can make it my own. And I feel like if I'm doing cosplays, then I have like less wiggle room. I have less room to move. I have less options when it comes to what I can order and what I can wear. And I just feel like, wow, you know, like with the Alice in Wonderland one, I felt like there's enough versions of Alice. I can stay loosely based around Disney version and make it drag, and everybody goes, hey, that's Alice in Wonderland. Whereas I do like a Jill Valentine cosplay, and everybody get in Resident Evil 3, and you go, okay, well, she needs a blue top, she needs the skirt, she needs this kind of hair, she needs this kind of, and it's like, it goes to me, well, that's taken away my imagination a little bit. You don't look exactly like so-and-so. Exactly, you know, and I don't want to be caught up in that at all. I just want to do what I want. And I even like where I've posted photos and like say on Flickr or something where they can let you put in a title or something. I've put in a title and they go, don't look into that. And like I realised that by titling something badly, you've prepared people's expectations in a way that you didn't need to. And so I'd rather let a picture speak for itself and then say, oh, hey, I kind of tried this. And this is my interpretation of it. And, you know. So, TLDR, I don't do that many cosplay looks because I don't want to, because I want to do my own thing. The fact that I'm a wrestling fan makes it even more special. Some kind of special, I don't know. Special kind of asshole. No. But yeah, I mean, I like wrestling. Grew up with wrestling. I like going to see wrestling. I like indie wrestling. I like New Japan Pro World. New Japan Pro Wrestling. You like AEW. WWE's okay. Wrestling is basically drag. Wrestling is pantomime. Drag for straight people, yeah. Wrestling is pantomime. It's you get to go, and someone comes out and you go, "Hey, you're a nice person," and you go, "I'm going to cheer for you," and you go, "Hey," and then someone else is going to come out and they're going to like be nasty and mean and cheat, and you go, "Boo, boo, don't like you," and that's it. Wrestling is like pantomime mixed with sport, mixed with drag. It's just. Yeah, it's absolutely incredible when it's done right. On any scale, you can have a very serious sports-based promotion like New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that's great. It's like watching, you know, I mean, who likes Rocky? If you like the film Rocky, you will love wrestling. That's it. Have I done any fantasy-inspired books? You could totally make them look. I've done. How do you mean in fantasy? Do you mean like based on a fantasy trope or a fantasy character, or do you mean like in terms of? I try and make my own fantasies all the time. But I've done some princess stuff, like the big dress, and I have a real love for big princess dresses and big hair and curls, and and bumps and you know, and I've done a few things like that. So Chris Vasil, you could probably look back through on my Patreon and find a couple of those kind of looks. And I'm going to do a big dress look at some point. I just haven't done it enough because I need like the right big hair to do a big princess look. That's like the definition of big hair for me is a big princess look with curls all down your back and that kind of stuff, right? That stuff gets me going. And I love walking around in a hoop petticoat and my skirts swinging around everywhere and not being able to get through doors. It's just, it's fantastic. Like, I grew up dreaming of it, and I've done it a few times. And the thing is with the Patreon stuff, like, and the looks, I don't want to repeat something too much. I don't want to repeat, not repeat an idea, but I don't want to repeat, like, clothing or wigs, like, too much. Big wigs I make an exception for because they're so expensive and I need to get the right amount of use out of them to make them worth it. Yeah. One example of great long-term storytelling, Naito, yes, the 7 year, oh, but the perfect example of following a wrestler as a sportsman and their story, and it was all told perfectly with everything that happens and everything that changes and all these little things that go wrong. He's still got his moment, he's still got everything, and he's still triumphed against the system, the people, everything, himself. It's just, there's nothing better than that story, actually, in the last, like, 10 years. Yeah. Did I ever wear a wedding dress? That's on the list. Oh, yeah. It might be the next big dress look I do, actually. It might be a wedding dress. But I need to get... That look will come from the hair. I'll say that now. That look will come from the hair. Like, I haven't looked at wedding dresses. I know the kind of thing I want to do. I might do, like, a pink wedding dress, a pink bride, but I also want to do the white classic wedding dress with a nice updo and curls and things. But again, like, that would be one I can't justify in that easily because the kind of updo I would have in mind for that wouldn't work for, like, some other looks. So it's tough. It's tough to think about it. But I would love to do the wedding dress. Especially, like, okay, it would be the wedding dress with the big skirt and the train, but one of the ones that you could take the skirt and the train off and you end up with, like, a nice little like puffy skirt or tutu kind of thing, and that you would take off the skirt and the train for the reception, so you could then do your first dance and that kind of thing. I think I want to do that, but it's definitely don't make enough money to go and get a wedding dress fitted or designed for me, and you know, like, the wedding dress, it's got to be something real special, you know. If it had made Marion Princess look with the cones and the head and things and no, I'd be interested in doing that. I don't think it would be. I think I could do it with this hair, actually. I do it with this hair and the right dress and the right thing. The trick is like, I'd want to make it sexy. So the trick is finding those kind of dresses and those kind of things that A, aren't fancy dress, B, aren't really expensive and bespoke. And C, have some cleavage, because I want to wear some boobs and try and make a, you know, kind of classic push up kind of situation. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tennyson. Thank you so much. I need to find a drag king with a tux to do a wedding shoot. Maybe. That would be great. WrestleMania was interesting that fans. The Boneyard match was like a movie. The Boneyard match was a really, really great thing that they did. The Firefly Funhouse match was a really, really great. Isa, what did you think of WrestleMania, by the way? I said my thoughts earlier on because someone mentioned it, but I want to know what you think. Never tried wedding dress. Me neither. I've tried the big princess dresses, and I have a big white princess dress that I haven't used, which I could use as a wedding dress. But what I have is quinceanera dresses, which are like I think that the Sweet 16 dress is pretty much, which is big in like Latin culture and things. So I don't have like a full-on wedding dress, but if I was gonna have a wedding dress, I'd need a meringue wedding dress. I'd need like the big skirts and a train, and, you know. Really, Susie? Oh yeah. I it's one of those things that if you dress up, you should probably do a wedding dress look once in your life. I mean, some girls really, really fetishize it and really want it, and it's their fantasy. And I do share that because I love the princess, the classic, like, yeah, I love the sort of medieval princess style fantasy and the huge dresses and, you know, and curls and stuff. Mention the marrying of his bio next chapter, suffering writer's block. You'll bust through it, Vinny. Don't worry about that. Brian Mitchell, watching WWE no crowd feels bizarre. It is totally bizarre. I'm getting used to it. AEW made it work by having the wrestlers by the side of the ring making bets and shouting and doing that stuff, and that just totally made it okay. And WWE Studio WWE feels really weird, which is why I think the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match, because they were juxtaposed so heavily against the no crowd matches, it made them pop like all that much more. And you wonder why they don't do more of that. But so much of WWE is the pageantry and the crowd and the big moments, and they add like a lot to it. I think it's something I'm getting used to. But like say the Edge and Randy Orton match was just totally dead without a crowd, and that was one of the matches that had the best promos leading up to it, the most heat for me, you know. Take a bearing, AJ. Goldberg being unwilling to do his match with Roman off, pissing up a fuss to beat Bray. Yeah. I don't think by the I think Goldberg, it wasn't Goldberg who refused that. Roman backed out because he had like a scare about coronavirus. He was going to work it and basically backed out right before they, like hours before they taped it, because I think someone, I mean, rumor is that, someone was off with symptoms of coronavirus, and Roman, being a cancer survivor, said, actually, I should be looking after myself, and, How am I opening up lower drawer on that commode behind me? Uh, it's a very high commode. I've got a step ladder that you got to, what? Firefly House was perfect. Yep, absolutely, a really great opportunity for Bray Wyatt to show his vision for wrestling, and how deeply he knows his character, how deeply he knows John Cena's character, and how John at this stage in his career can work with him and do this, and it's perfect, absolutely perfect. Goldberg refused to do the match with Roman later. Really? Okay. Well, I'm glad Braun finally got his moment, and even though I don't like Braun recently because of comments he made going into the coronavirus crisis, but Scott says, I'm so glad Edge returned at the Royal Rumble with fans. It would have been a crap for Edge to return without a crowd. Yep, he just got in there. That was the moment, and you can tell how much it meant to him, and that's it. I think maybe like the bed is so close, but still lowest drawer is open. Oh, sorry, it's not a commode. It's, yeah. You mean it is actually. I have at least 12 inches between the drawer and the bed, and there's nothing important in that drawer. Really, it's the only way I could like figure out the room, because of the other stuff I've got in here. That's the only place for the chest of drawers that worked. So, night, Nicholas Merbo. Thank you so much for coming and chilling out with us. Really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. There you go. I'm sorry, Daggev. I figured so, and I hoped you'd explain it. And I didn't mean to. I didn't. I hope. I was just taking the mickey. I'm sorry. Ciampa and Gargano did did a cinematic match style thing to blow off the feud, and I have not watched it. I know it's like very long, and I haven't watched it. I keep meaning to. I hear that there was some weird turns at the end, and I like the thing is with Gargano and Ciampa, like their hate, their animosity runs so deep that they need to finish it in front of a crowd. I'm so annoyed. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'm so annoyed their blow off was in front of nobody, because that's like the one thing that should definitely have happened, and that they got cruelly denied their big moment with Johnny Gargano winning the title off Ciampa. So I have at least 12 inches. I have at least 12 inches of space between the chest of drawers and the bed, so I can open the chest of drawers. Who liked the Messiah of Raw? The Monday Night Messiah, Rollins. I have not watched any. Well, no, I haven't really watched any Raw or SmackDown since before Raw Rumble, since last year actually. We just decided not to watch it because AEW was really good, and NWA was really good at the time as well, and we were watching New Japan Pro Wrestling as well, and we just went, do we need to spend like 7 hours of our week watching WWE programming? It turned out the answer was no, because we just totally just tune in for the pay-per-views now, and it's fine. Randomly sort of go on Reddit and keep up roughly with what's going on. Not watching WWE became a matter of self-respect. Exactly. I mean, now it's not the only game in town, and now like there's if you're a wrestling fan and you really like wrestling, then there's so many great options out there right now. Well, right now there's not a lot happening, but there has been in the last year or so. There's been some really great stuff going on, and you don't need to watch WWE ever. And you know, watch some pay-per-views if you like. Watch WrestleMania, watch Royal Rumble, watch SummerSlam, maybe Survivor Series, and otherwise you're better off, in my mind anyway. Beautiful hair, probably you heard. Oh, thank you so much, Dag Hair. I'm very, very pleased with my hair today. This is a wishlist gift from somebody, so thank you. You know who you are. Love the Monday Night Messiah gimmick. Watching highlights of Raw and SmackDown's months too, especially them moving to BT. We've all been waiting for Seth Rollins to turn heel again. For ages, he was always way better as a heel. I kind of liked him as the guy who had the best match on the show, but also, he also did some dumb Twitter game, and kind of everybody hates him because he was pushed and he was champion. I think you know what, I think everybody just hates whoever's been champion for 3 months because they get boring and it's hard to have a champion to keep them interesting for ages. Which is weird because WWE is moving towards having longer term champions now. It has been for a while. Especially with the likes of Lesnar and AJ Styles having the title for a year. And who else? Who? Oh, flipping heck. Bray Wyatt won it off Rollins, didn't he? Christ. NXT champions tend to be longer reigns. Am I a Final Fantasy fan? I'm not enough of a fan. Final Fantasy VII is one of my favourite games ever, but I've not gone out and grabbed the new remake yet. Mainly because Resident Evil 3 came out the same week, came out last week as well. So I'm just completely... what's the word? I haven't thought about it because I've been playing Resident Evil 3 so much. and other games, and I realized it came out. I played the demo. I really liked the demo. But as what I understand it is the FF7 remake demo was really well received. Was generally very well received. And the episode that's come out last week, not so well received for whatever reasons. I'm going to judge for myself, obviously. I'm not someone who really wants to like listen to something and someone say, oh, I don't like this, and then I go, I don't like this. Doesn't work for me. We'll play it at some point, judge for ourselves. I owe it to myself to play it because FF7 is one of my favourite games ever. And, you know, that's about where I am. Do I try Resistance? Resident Evil 3 Resistance. I've not tried it. It's going to sit on my PS4 forever without being tried because I didn't buy that. Apparently I bought it. No, I didn't buy it. I got it for free along with the thing that I bought. And from what I hear of it, it can be fun. It's not very good, but you'll kind of enjoy it in a sort of masochistic kind of way. And it's like a 4v1 thing where 4 people are trying to survive, and one player is trying to mastermind their demise, as it were. Kind of like a Friday 13th game. Kind of like Left 4 Dead, except like a player is controlling like the enemies and things. So, you know. I appreciate. Are you talking about wrestling still, Vinny? I appreciate that. And where were they putting on shows in the UK? There's Rev Pro Wrestling run in London and sort of Midlands, I think, most of the time. And that's all I really know. There's lots and lots of wrestling promotions around. Some good ones in London. I can't really tell you a hell of a lot about indie promotions. Just that I like Rev Pro Wrestling and went to a couple of really great shows this year. Not buying it until the whole game is out because right now they're releasing episodes. Yeah, are you paying per episode or are they giving you a season pass? That's what I want to know. If not, I will wait for the whole game to come out if I have to buy the whole thing. Where in London? Bethnal Green, I think. York Hall is where Rev Pro run their London shows. Number 1 favourite finishes the Stone Cold Stunner, and yours. It's tough for finishers. It's tough. Because they're so watered down nowadays in most instances. I got to try and think of one that always gets a pop from me, and I don't really know what it is. I think just on like a technical level, like right now, I think Alistair Black's Black Mass is just a thing of beauty. It's this great, like, what is it? It's not a roundhouse. It's like a spinning back kick that comes out of nowhere and looks beautiful every single time, and yeah, it's great. I really like a good jackknife powerbomb. Nobody does jackknife powerbombs anymore. I really like the whole like tall guy doing a powerbomb, and just like where a powerbomb, like you normally like keep hold of somebody and bash them into the ground. I kind of like someone just like throwing them out there. It's a very strength-based thing. What else do I like? I really like Will Ospreay's 50 finishes. He does a really, really great kind of like cutter off the top rope, which is weird. It looks amazing. Really, Vinny? Well, it's still a pedigree there. It's still a pedigree there. But yeah, what else finishes? The Stone Cold Stunner is great. Like I say, The Rock selling the Stone Cold Stunner is where it's at. I'm also a sucker for a good choke slam. The Oz cutter, yeah. The thing is, like, everybody and their mum does an Oz cutter nowadays, but Will Ospreay saw people taking it off, and then instead of like doing a like doing it off the second rope in the middle of the in the middle of the ropes and doing that, he now hops up to the top rope in the corner and does it, and it just looks. I've seen that from like sort of quite close up from below, and it just looks incredible. Just looks incredible. It just the way that Ospreay gets the airtime on that. It just he has like an unnatural ability. He's like Ricochet, but really, really much better. Whereas Ricochet is like this really great athlete. Will Ospreay is an athlete who looks like he's actually having a fight. And yeah, I think Ricochet going to WWE was like the worst thing he could have done. Always wins when you see a punk kick. That was one that looks really good. I had a really big love for Nakamura's Bomaye, or Kinshasa, as you will. A big love for that. And GTR, yeah. Burning Hammer. Now that's a finisher. That's a finisher. Although when people do Burning Hammers nowadays, they do Burning Hammer because they think it's a Birmingham hammer, and Birmingham. What does Go to do? What's the GTR? It's a slam, isn't it? I can't remember. I'll tell you what though, if you're talking finishers right now, I think one that really comes to mind for me now is Moxley's Paradigm Shift. I'm a sucker for a really good DDT. I like tornado DDTs. One of my favorite moves is Sami Zayn doing his torpedo DDT like through the kind of like ring post rope part, and then doing the tornado DDT on people. That's I love that stuff. But I also like one of my favorite bumps of last year, like literally my favorite bump of last year, was Jon Moxley lifting double arm DDT and Kenny Omega through a coffee table. That was just it's sick. It's like I haven't in years where it's been so long since I literally went, oh my god, and saw it coming as well. Like you saw the coffee table and the sofas, and I was like, I know what's gonna happen. And I just went, oh, it's gonna happen. And he's looked that one up. Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega coffee table. YouTube it. Oh my god. Baron Saxon's getting kicked square in the balls for Stunner's class. That whole segment, I watched that segment, and it was like they're ignoring the situation the rest of the time, and then Stone Cold comes out and they make a joke about it, and I go, great, that was great on its own, but in the show it's just like, no, don't do that, right? Thank you, Shell Shocked. Isa, so it's kind of like a GTS, right? It's GTS. I tell you, I like a good classic Kenta GTS as well. Like if you look up a compilation of Kenta's GTS, like classic old like Noah stuff, and he did it in so many different ways. That's a hell of a move. Until he broke like flipping what's his name, Brian Kendrick's nose with it, and made it safe, and then turned into a CM Punk GTS, which is, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Isa. Thank you. I know Goto is one of the guys, one of the classic. He's like Ishii level, but there's nothing about him that I got invested in yet. So, oh yeah, I know the GTR. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's good. Kind of like it reminds me of when Big Show had he did the final cut. I think it was for a while where he did that startup and then went down with him. But that looks good. It looks like he's crushing the rib cage against his leg, so it's good. Yeah, that's what it should. Anything like that, you should just, instead of like going down and like and rolling about and going, oh my god, that hurts so much. You should just sell being dead. You know, some moves really need that. Like anything that looks like you should have got knocked the fuck out, you should just look like you got knocked out. That's it. Anyway, guys, I've been on for a while now. It's 1:45, and Triple H pedigree is pretty good. It's pretty good. Like I say, Triple H pedigree is one where people should not take it on their knees. They should just take the face bump flat and not let go, and not let him let go, so they can put their hands down. Just should be I drove you onto your face, and you're dead. That's what it should be. Anyway, guys, sorry, I was saying, it's been a while. I'm a little bit drunk, so I should probably go off very soon. I love to talk about wrestling. I don't want the stream to turn into me talking about wrestling for 4 hours. So I'm going to cut it off pretty soon there. I just want to give my shout outs once again to all my wonderful patrons on my Patreon. Please go and visit patreon.com/Nikki if you pledge to my Patreon, you can find things like all the photo sets that I do for all my big looks. For every look you see on Twitter, there are 10 times as many photos. Well, not for every look you see on Twitter, but for every like big look you see on Twitter, there's many photos of that look that you can have by pledging to my Patreon, plus videos of me like talking about my outfit and teasing and doing whatever. And also you can get a shout out on this very stream. You can vote for which look comes out next. So every look you see on Twitter and Instagram or whatever has been voted for by my Patreons. So I've got a list of people here, and one of the perks of being a patron is that if you're on the right tier, then you get your name read out by me on these streams. So I'm going to do this and wrap things up. So I want to say super big thank you to Jeff Rooks, Story Carlson, Tom Connell, Austin LaRue, Bianca Barbie Dolly, Dirty Rotten, Lynn S. Maid, Alexandra Chirita, Brian Agueta, Ryan Sullivan, Bob and Gunk, Daggy Likey, Luke Ingram, Aura, Oliver Herr, Ryan David, Avari56, Rick, Bob, ER, Roger Whiting, Leonie100, Nathan Smith, Jody Allen, Hawk, CR, Alex, Equiv16, Robert Zimmerman, Stephen, John Doe, Thrifty, Neil Before Zod, PJ Goodenoir, Torlex, Richard Beatty, Kylo Penn, Kylo S97, Sam Wright, Jesse O'Coin, Terry, Dave, Busty Lucy, Frank DeBar, Kieran Thurlow, and Kevin Y. Thank you so much to all of you, and thank you so much to all my other patrons as well. It's so wonderful you allow me to keep doing what I'm doing, and if you guys are interested in the rest of the stuff that I do, please head on over to patreon.com/itsnickynicole. And I love you all. Thank you for a good hangout. It's helped me cheer up at this time. I really hope you're all doing okay. And we haven't talked much about the current situation in life and the world much today. And I kind of like that because I hope we've gone away to a different world where we can just sort of talk about the things we like and hang out and whatever. So I'll see you guys next time. I should be streaming tomorrow on my gaming channel. So keep an eye out for that. That's twitch.tv/pixelmint. We do have a Discord server for let me invite them. Oh god, I hate this. And we do have a Discord server if anybody's interested in coming and joining the community, where we sit and have a chat and come in, help me more active, and chat about all the things we've been chatting about today, general stuff, wrestling, films, movies, whatever, me. And if you become a patron or a subscriber on my Twitch channel, then you will get a special role in Discord as well. So there's the Discord link. Come and join us if you want to keep chatting. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much.